But you have to decide, what do you want for your future? And is this decision right now in the moment going to serve my desires for the future? Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the Wisdom Archives. I'm your host, Ian Bruce. Lay down. Hey, how's it going? And welcome to the Wisdom Archives. I'm your host, Ian Bruce. And on this channel, we promote emotional and spiritual intelligence through... Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Wisdom Archives. I'm your host, Ian Bruce. And on this channel, we promote emotional and spiritual intelligence through, number one, the seeking of wisdom, which I like to define as learning to make the best decisions that produce the most fruitful outcome for your future and stability. Number two, through learning how to identify our emotions so that we can master them instead of becoming a slave to them. And number three, through the discovery of the laws of the universe so that we can operate under the benefit and protection of the original rules and design of life. So today's topic is a biblical one, and it is about reaping what you sow. I'm going to be talking a lot about relationships on this channel because through experience and observation, I've learned that a lot of success and failure in relationships come down to skill issues. Learning how to get along with others, and ultimately you do that by doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so the way that topic ties in is a lot of us fail to realize that every decision is a seed that you're sowing. And that seed, if you water it, it's going to grow and it's going to turn into something, whether you intended it to or not. So an example of sowing a seed in a relationship that you intended to or not is something like this. All right, you get into an argument with your partner. They do or say something that irritates you or that you don't like, or something that hurt you. And so you decide within yourself, well, I'm going to show them. And you cut them with the intention of hurting them the same way that they hurt you. Oftentimes, the punishment that you give out doesn't necessarily fit the crime. Or if it does, it doesn't necessarily bring you closer to the outcome that you wanted. Meaning, maybe you wanted to be closer, or maybe you wanted to come to an understanding. But then you choose violence, and now you guys are at war. Or maybe you make up in a day or two, but they still remember those words that you said. And those were seeds that you sowed. And they grow into something, whether you intend them to or not. Because once you put them out in the universe, it's the universe's turn to respond. All right, go play. Go play. But it goes the other way as well. You can also choose to make decisions, regardless of how you feel at the moment, that will better your future and your relationships. Maybe things have been distant between you guys. Maybe you have had a rough time. And no wonder you guys are distant, and no wonder you guys aren't getting along. Because what have you been doing to promote that? So it might take you being sweet or being kind or being gentle, or stroking some ego even when you don't necessarily feel like it. Because those are seeds that you're sowing. Those are decisions that you're making. And your life ultimately is an accumulation of all the decisions that you choose to make. Just like those who choose to work out when they're supposed to, and then months later, like even though the workout sucked, maybe they didn't want to get up early, or maybe they didn't want to do it at all, they did it and they reaped the rewards. So it's the same thing. Like, you may not feel like doing whatever it is that you may need to do to pour into your partner, or, hey, you breathing on my mic? Watch out, Blad. Lay down. Lay down. I really don't like when you don't listen to me. Thank you. You may not feel like serving your partner at that time. You may not feel like they deserve it, but you have to decide, what do you want for your future? And is this decision right now in the moment going to serve my desires for the future. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be benevolent when you don't feel like being benevolent. But I believe that you have a responsibility to do what you're supposed to do, regardless of whether you feel like it or not. It's just called being a good steward, taking care of that which is under your care. And I believe if you focus on taking care of that which you're supposed to take care of, if you make that your focus, all the rewards will come. They have to. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Like, you do what you're supposed to do, and you get what you're supposed to get. And so I know what some of you are about to say. I did what I was supposed to do, or I was a good person, or whatever. It's easy to say that when you don't put yourself under a microscope. Because sometimes, like, it was small decisions that you made that got you to the place that you're at. Or there were things that you ignored, and not necessarily out of kindness or being generous or giving people the benefit of the doubt, but simply for being a coward and not wanting to set your own boundaries because you want to avoid conflict. Or not advocating for yourself when you knew you should have, to avoid conflict. You failed yourself. You didn't steward yourself properly. And decisions like that carry over. Being a coward is expensive. So, be intentional about the seeds that you choose to sow, regardless of how you feel, because how you feel is some entity inside of you that's hungry and that wants to be fed right now. So it's influencing the entire self to move in a certain direction, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that direction is correct. So be intentional about the seeds that you sow. And you will be intentional about the seeds that you sow when your vision is clear. Understand yourself, understand what it is that you want, and do your absolute best not to waver. If you want success, you have to do the things that are going to promote success. If you want intimacy in your relationship, you're going to have to do the things that promote intimacy. If you want friendship, whatever it is that you want, you have to figure out the rules and the laws associated with that thing you're trying to accomplish or achieve or obtain. And you have to follow those rules. And those rules don't care how you feel about them. They just are the way they are, man. Like, and it's so easy to forget that as a human. I often think to myself that, like, most of us are just big kids, you know what I mean? Like, we deal with the same stuff that children deal with, only at a higher level. And children are dumb and arrogant. They come into this world thinking they know everything, and they don't. And it's amazing, like, how intelligent kids assume they are, given that, like, they barely started speaking language, you know, a few years after being born, and they're still not that great at it. They don't know anything about what's going on. They got to get all the answers from us. They just operate under our protection. And we have such a hard time influencing them. And I think it's the same thing with humans. Like, we think that because we're older and we understand a little bit more about life that we got it, and we really don't. There's so many rules to life and patterns we have to follow after in order to be successful. And it's really humbling when you think about it. It's like this place was really made for us, but it was made for us by somebody way more intelligent than we are. And they established these rules to life. And the only way for us to be successful is to learn the rules and do our best to follow them to a T. So, you reap what you sow. Whatever decisions that you choose to make, that's the life you're going to build. Doesn't matter if you feel good about it. Doesn't matter if you feel bad about it. Doesn't matter if you want to or you don't want to. It's a decision. It's a stroke of a paintbrush. And that's what you're coloring your life with. So be intentional.